Tonight on Coyote News, a high number of school shootings have already occurred since the first of the year. Find out how the University Police Department strives to keep students safe and how USD is getting closer to going green. I'm John Weatherington.
And I'm Kathleen Suri. Learn about the U's newest organization and its efforts to promote Greek life, and find out what steps graduating seniors need to complete before they can accept their diploma. Plus, both the men and women's basketball teams fall to SDSU. But first, the headlines with Abby Pierce.
Western diplomats met to discuss the Ukraine crisis, and NATO warns it's reviewing its relationship with Russia. Following threats of sanctions and retaliations between Europe and Russia, the NATO Secretary General says the review sends a clear message that Russia's actions will have consequences. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry says Russia is making up reasons to intervene in Ukraine, and there isn't a single piece of evidence to support the claims. Yesterday, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered troops back to their bases, a positive sign. A New Jersey high school student lost her first round of her trial yesterday after suing her parents for living and tuition costs after claiming they kicked her out of the home last fall. Rachel Canning claimed she was verbally and physically abused by her parents before being kicked out. Canning's parents, Sean and Elizabeth, deny the claims and say Canning left the home because she didn't want to follow their rules. They say their daughter got upset after they laid down the law following a suspension from school. And those are your headlines.
2 USD seniors are presenting their undergraduate research projects at the Capitol Rotunda in Pierre tomorrow. Eric Mucky and Megan Ingebrigtsen were chosen by university faculty to display their research in poster form during the Pierre Poster Session. The event showcases research conducted by a select group of students from South Dakota colleges and universities. Mucky will present the effects of state and federal funding on South Dakota K-12 small school consolidation. Ingebrigtsen's presentation is entitled Surveillance of Influenza Viruses Within the Swine Abattoir Population.
It's only the third month of the year, and 13 school shootings have already occurred across the U.S. Students may be wondering how safe they are on USD's campus. Dr. Jerry Jacobs is the director of Disaster Mental Health Institute. He says traumatic stress reactions that arise from school shootings are ordinary human responses. Students with significant academic, personal, or physical tensions affecting them are more likely to face increased levels of stress. Following a school shooting, people who feel most stressed are those who feel their own lives, or the lives of the loved ones, were threatened, as well as people who witness the event and those that witness the aftermath, including injured students. The university has conducted training sessions to deal with active shooters, and meetings with the faculty have focused on strategies to handle these situations. To talk about how USD keeps its students safe, Coyote News' Erica Arpan is live in the muck with University Police Department Sergeant Bill Manger. Erica?
Thanks, John. Now, USD has been a particularly safe campus for the most part. Now, what would happen if something as horrible as a school shooting were to occur? Thanks for being with us, Sergeant. What are some of the things that USD does to prepare its faculty, staff, and officers to prepare themselves for a shooter on campus?
Our officers have been training active shooter response for about 12 years now. We train in conjunction with the Vermilion Police Department, Clay County Sheriff's Office. From time to time we have highway patrol officers and DCI agents involved as well. We also have fire department EMS come in to assist.
Okay. And how would UPD respond to the event, and how would they inform campus about it?
The information part will come out through the campus alert system via text message, email, phone calls, and then our officers will respond. First guys on scene are going to make entry into the building, and they'll go look for the shooter.
Okay. And how can students feel safe if something as horrible as this should happen at USD?
They just need to remember that we have professional staff that are working on this. We've been training on it. Hopefully it never happens, but we're ready if it does.
Okay, thank you. That was Sergeant William Manger from UPD, live in the muck. I'm Erica Arpan.
Thanks, Erica. Coming up after the break, graduating students are preparing for graduation and looking for jobs. And find out how USD is going green. Stay with us. With graduation day drawing closer and closer, seniors need to make sure they're taking care of a few final requirements before they can accept their diploma. The first step for students is to complete their degree audit at the registrar. This verifies that individuals have completed all of their required classes. They should also visit the financial aid office to complete an exit exam. Graduating seniors will be receiving an email from Barnes & Noble, which includes information on diplomas, regalia, and invitations. Finally, the class of 2014 should show up 45 minutes early to the Dakota Dome on Saturday, May 10th. Commencement starts at 10 a.m. Graduating students are also encouraged to check with their advisors for any additional departmental requirements.
A report released this year by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York shows the underemployment rate for recent graduates is higher than it's ever been in the past 20 years. But for USD students about to enter the job market, some opportunities are available to get a head start by May. The annual Big Job Fair was held last week in Sioux Falls and offered free registration to regional students. Fair organizers say it's necessary for graduates to meet with employers face-to-face. This way, they find out how to sell their skills and learn of available positions they might not expect.
I think too often I see people being very narrow in what they're looking for, and they don't stop and think about the many skills that they have with their college degree.
135 employers attended this year's fair. Peterson says in order to have a fighting chance at a job, students had to be prepared.
It is kind of almost a wake-up call. I mean, you're not a student. Everything kind of has been, okay, I'm still in school doing that, but now it's kind of challenging, but it's also exciting.
Peterson says oftentimes students don't dress appropriately and don't conduct themselves in a presentable manner. Important steps in making a good first impression.
The Vermilion Chamber and City Council are working on ways of keeping USD students in town after graduation. Chamber Executive Director Steve Howe says most graduates move on and out of Vermilion. Results of a 10-year study concluded that Vermilion doesn't have the career opportunities, housing, and amenities desired by college graduates. Howe says the Chamber and City Council improvements include the addition of Eagle Creek software services, residential property Bliss Point, and the Prentice Park Master Plan. The keys to the Vermilion Technology Center will be handed over to Eagle Creek in June. Work continues on the $5 million building owned by the Chamber.
On this week's Yote Report, Bailey Millen finds out how USD is planning to make campus more environmentally friendly.
Going green has been a national trend for quite some time, but if USD's campus has gone green, it isn't readily apparent.
Okay.
Dean of Students Kim Greaves says housing has been doing recycling for quite some time. Now, the Muck is joining in the efforts.
We have a new director that's just been hired about a month ago, Kyle Schoenfelder, and really I tasked him with developing the recycling program at the Muck. So far we've coordinated with the Recycling Center, and they're picking up cardboard, aluminum cans, and plastic bottles Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Greaves says they will begin working with the Sustainability Department to get student involvement with the program. When it comes to the design of the recycling plan, Greaves says they are looking at all the best practices across the country.
Now we're starting small and we'll continue to grow and grow as we get more students that'll be involved. But we want to make sure that we do it very, very well and don't just get overwhelmed right from the beginning, but realizing how important it is to really begin the program.
In the Muck, Greaves says an important part of the program will be to move the current recycling bins into more highly populated areas. Greaves is working with housing and sharing ideas to enhance the recycling effort.
And they're mostly doing the paper, so we'll be continuing to do more. And we've also put the hydrofill stations in all of housing, so now students can just use their own water bottle.
To enhance the sustainability in the Muck, the recycling committee is in search of plastic containers to replace styrofoam ones. Greaves says students will be able to place these containers in the Muck after their use so they can be washed and used again the next day. The recycling program will swing into full effect during the second half of the semester. For the Yote Report, I'm Bailey Millen.
On this week's Coyote blog, Charlie Daldorf lets a certain pop star off the hook.
Hello, everybody. Let's gather around the campfire for a minute. I hope everybody brought their marshmallows and chocolate for s'mores. Crack open a soda and sit down. Bring your friends. We need to talk. We need to talk about the Bieber. So this guy, who's apparently a talented artist, has been showing up in the news quite a bit. Generally, it involves him smoking pot in various locations. He's also been doing scandalous stuff behind the scenes. My ninjas that work for me are really good at bringing me top secret info. So the verdict? I think he's fine. I'm actually glad he's having fun. I'm happy that he's happy. Thanks, Pharrell Williams. And we should milk this as much as possible. So we should start a show called The Biebers. We'll have it run for 2 full seasons. Then, at the end of the last season, we do a crossover with The Kardashians, and it will be the greatest reality TV show episode ever. And we should bring back Hannah Montana since she's new and improved. For Coyote Blog, I'm Charlie Daldorf, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Charlie. After the break, learn about one of USD's newest campus organizations and find out the latest on the SGA bill that's stirring up a lot of conversation. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
If you came in late, you can watch anything you missed on our YouTube channel.
You might expect that students choose a campus based on their intended major or its proximity to home, but USD continues to recruit many students by just giving a campus tour. The new renovations have been attracting prospective students to Vermilion.
In recent years, we've modified our campus tours in order to show off the new facilities we have on campus. So obviously the business school's been a new addition, the Munster University Center, the Wellness Center, Coyote Village. All those weren't here a few years ago, so we've adjusted our tours to show off those buildings.
Howard says prospective students enjoy the new dining options, such as Einstein's Bagels.
In order to kind of stand out above the rest, we purchased Charlie carts, which you'll see the little red golf carts driving around campus.
The tours allow student ambassadors to show all that USD's campus has to offer. Prospective students can sign up for an individual or group visit or attend Admitted Students Day.
A new student organization will be promoting Greek life on campus, as Coyote News' Brandy Bew reports.
Greek sororities and fraternities are hoping to use a new student organization on campus to help recruit new incoming freshmen and to help recruit old USD students as well.
Last October, 20 members organized sorority and fraternity life ambassadors. While the co-presidents have a lot of ideas for the group, there is one tool that the organization is used for.
A recruiting tool, a tool that would be used to help bring people into the fraternity and sorority community and really help to move away from some of the stereotypes that we face from movies like Old School, movies like Animal House, TV shows like Greek. Some of those negative stereotypes, and help to really inform people not about one particular house but about Greek life as a whole.
Recruitment week starts earlier this fall, but with this organization they hope to reach students before by attending events around campus. For Coyote News, I'm Brandy Bew.
Those interested in getting involved with the new group can email Greek Life. An SGA Senate bill that would add Senate seats for underrepresented groups was first defeated, then tabled yesterday. Senate Bill 62 has been set aside until a later Senate session. Coyote News' Taylor Moore is live in the muck with Alexis Oskolkoff to find out what this means for the bill. Taylor?
Thanks, Kathleen. I'm here with SGA Senator and original proponent of Senate Bill 62, Alexis Oskolkoff. Thank you so much for coming, Alexis. So, being a original proponent of the bill, do you plan on having it read again in the future or possibly revisit it?
Well, actually, it was killed within the Senate, but our last meeting is tomorrow, or after spring break on Tuesday, so I'm not really sure that it would be read, but the parliamentary procedure just totally went out the window this past Tuesday, and it wasn't even read. We didn't even get to read it. So I'm not sure how that really is going to happen if, President Muckey, when he comes back, if we're going to, reintroduce it or, something has to be done because there's something wrong within the minutes. So hopefully we get that cleared up by their next meeting. So.
And so Are there other means being taken by SGA senators to make sure that diversity is instilled on campus?
I really hope so, but it really brought people to really think about it now, at least with the Senate, because before there was no talk about it. So hopefully with this, it opened the window, it opened the door for them to actually, and I hope that some type of policy does get established, because it really is needed within SGA.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alexis. That was SGA Senator Alexis Alsikoff, and also the original proponent of Senate Bill 62. Live in the Muck, I'm Taylor Moore.
Thanks, Taylor. Coming up after the break, both the men's and women's basketball teams had tough losses against SDSU, and the track and field teams performed well at the Summit League Championship. Stay with us.
Excuse me, ma'am, what is this?
Obstacle course training. It's how we prepare our staff to get you the news first. Not bad. The Savant, first to the news, first to you. The student's voice for 125 years.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, both the basketball teams suffer losses against SDSU, and we take a look at a club sport that many students may not know about. I'm Nathan Elbecker.
And I'm Malachi Peterson. The USD track and field teams performed well at the Summit League Championships. Plus, sports commentator Courtney Sterrett reminds everyone to be respectful to others first. The headlines, Abby?
PGA golfer Tiger Woods says he intends to compete in the WGC Cadillac Championships starting tomorrow. The #1 professional golfer in the world withdrew from the Honda Classic on Sunday. Woods says he was having back problems after 13 holes. He first reported back problems at the end of the 2013 season. The Nets have signed Jason Collins to another 10-day contract. Collins is the first openly gay player in the NBA and has played in all 5 games with the Nets since signing his first 10-day contract. After his current contract expires, the Nets have the option to sign Collins for the rest of the season. The 13-year NBA veteran played with the Nets from 2001 to 2008. The NFL is proposing a new rule to make the extra point after a touchdown harder to convert. The rule proposes moving the ball back to the 25-yard line instead of the 2-yard line. This would make the extra kick a 43-yard attempt. There are only 5 missed points in over 1,200 attempts last season. And those are your headlines.
The USD men's track and field team won their second straight Summit League Indoor Championship this past weekend. Jeff Metler was named Summit League Track MVP for the second straight year after winning the 3,000-meter run in the mile. Cody Snyder broke the league and school record in the shot put, and Brandon Kovash recorded 2 wins, while Mock Dojak and Chabosky Lin also recorded wins. Men's head coach Dave Gottsman repeated as Summit League Head Coach of the Year. The women's team placed second at the championship, led by high jumper Megan Gleiser and pole vaulter Emily Grove, who both set new records at the field house. Gleiser, Grove, and pole vaulter Bethany Furjek are eligible to compete at the NCAA Indoor Championships next weekend, before USD starts their outdoor season on the 21st.
The women's basketball team fell to SDSU on Sunday in a high-scoring shootout. The Coyotes only trailed by 5 points at the half and regained the lead 3 minutes into the second half. But the Jacks battled back to take the lead, and the Coyotes never recovered, losing 99-88. SDSU took advantage of 35 made free throws and 8 three-pointers in the win. All 5 starters for USD reached double digits, led by Rochelle Contreras with 18 points, while Lisa Leffler and Paula Harrington each had 16 points. Nicole Seekamp was right behind with 15, and Ty Miller had 11. USD ends the regular season 16-13 overall and 7-7 in the conference. The Coyotes are seeded 4th in the Summit League tournament and will play 5th-seeded Western Illinois on Sunday.
The men's basketball team lost to rival SDSU Saturday after a tough loss at NDSU on Thursday. USD struggled early on, trailing 16-3 just 7 minutes into the game. The Yotes battled back within 6 points, but the Jacks pulled away, eventually winning 75-61. Brandon Boss led USD with 21 points, and Tyler Flack added 16. But the Yotes shot a season low of 28% as a team, making only 15 field goals. The Coyotes finished the season 12-17 overall and 6-8 in conference play. USD will be the 5th seed at the Summit League tournament and will play 4th-seeded Denver on Sunday. The South Dakota Showdown Series is a yearly competition between USD and SDSU in sports and academics. SDSU leads USD in the competition with just 6 events remaining this year. USD swept SDSU in volleyball and indoor track, but the rest has been all SDSU. Academics can earn USD up to 3 points, but the Yotes have a lot of catching up to do. In order to tie SDSU in the standings, the Yotes can only allow the Jacks to earn 1 more point.
College students often try to get involved in a variety of organized activities when they have free time. Many are drawn to club sports, but fencing has only attracted a few students at USD. Fencing is a sport where 2 people challenge each other with a particular kind of weapon, either an épée or a foil. Club member Tom Bickett says his favorite fencing move is a disengage.
Act like you're going one way and you stop, move around the other side, and go on the other side instead of attacking in the chest.
There's more to fencing than just trying to hit the opponent. Brody Allen compares it to physical chess.
But, you have to think in terms of defense, movement, distance is important, footwork is important, and you can make it as complex or as just aggressive as you want.
Although fencing has many aspects, the match always begins with the salute to each other, the judge and the crowd. The USD Fencing Club practices in the Dome Tuesday nights at 7:30.
No one said everyone was supposed to get along, but Courtney Sterrett says everybody deserves respect. On this week's sports commentary, she reminds us all to think twice about what we say.
Over the past few days, there has been a lot of controversy on the NFL's proposal to ban the N-word. I'm not going to discuss whether or not that should be a new rule, but it did help me with today's topic, being respectful on the field. What might seem fine to say to one person might not be okay to say to someone else. Everyone has their own opinions and beliefs that need to be acknowledged. You aren't going to know how every player feels about certain words or phrases, so I think it's in everybody's best interest to keep those statements to yourself. If you want to say something that could possibly be controversial to another person in the room, keep it at home. Don't bring it into the locker room or especially into a game. If there wasn't a problem with language, then this ban that the NFL's talking about wouldn't even exist. I'm not going to single out any words, but let's just try to keep it clean. The language said on the field shouldn't have any effect on how well you play, so why take the risk of offending somebody? There are plenty of words out there that can express anger or happiness. If you don't know any other words than derogatory ones, it may be good to invest in a dictionary. Don't let racial slurs or vulgar language get in the way of you and other players having a good game. Have some fun out there while you're playing and set a good example for those fans looking up to you. Try to keep it under control and there won't be any bans under consideration. I understand that some things might slip out in the heat of the moment, but try to stay respectful to those who might hear you. For Coyote Sports, I'm Courtney Sterrett.
Thanks, Courtney. After the break, Chuck in the Muck asks students if they have any positive things to say about SDSU. Stay tuned.
Have you ever felt alone in a sea of people? You're silent, but screaming on the inside. Your tears are hidden behind a forced smile. 15% of those clinically depressed commit suicide, but those people aren't just numbers. They're your sister, your brother, your best friend. They're that person you put down the other day. Every 40 seconds, someone around the world commits suicide. Make the lost the found.
It's the week before spring break, and that means most students are studying for midterms.
On this week's Out and About, we ask students how they prepare for midterms.
Study on free time. Like when working out, I'll go on like a bike and read some material and stuff like that. That way I can get both my workout in and my studying for midterms.
Studying a lot.
Studying a lot. I'll be in the library pretty much every night this week.
Studying a lot.
Studying, doing note cards, doing everything possible to get ready for these midterms.
Studying a lot. I don't know, nothing different than last time's.
I guess just study and stay at the library.
I am studying. Drinking. A lot. I'm not.
Studying every day, try to devote a few hours every day for each class.
Procrastinating/studying.
Making some flashcards to help me review, going over old notes and old tests and quizzes.
I had to go home this weekend because my mom wanted me to come home and work on my school because I haven't been doing well. So that's what I've been doing.
I don't have any.
I actually don't have any midterms, so I'll be sleeping most of the week.
On this week's Chuck in the Muck, Chuck Gresser finds out if USD students have anything good to say about SDSU.
Were you talking good about state? Is that why you're in jail?
Yeah, that'd be a good reason.
Yeah, they should put people in jail for even mentioning state.
You should be in jail.
We gotta get out of here. Do you go to state?
No.
Are you sure that blue is awfully...
It's not state blue.
Huh?
That blue is puke blue.
Which color on your scarf is your favorite of those two colors?
Red, because it's for the yotes.
And so why are you wearing blue? What's the best part about state?
There is no good part about state. They have a band called The Pride. I mean, how can you not hate them for that?
How many SDSU students does it take to change a light bulb?
The entire student body.
I don't even think they have light bulbs out there.
They say screw the U.
You heard it here first, folks.
Don't you have to be a count again in SDSU?
No, you just have to be, well, yeah.
Breathing.
Oh, Gerald. Have you ever seen a jackrabbit? I saw one at a petting zoo once. It died shortly thereafter.
Smart choice.
By me.
I don't really know what they go to school for.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that. Do you like state? Your hair looks like it. She likes state. Hi, Rebecca. Your name's not Rebecca? Oh, sorry, wrong person.
They did point out the last football game very much so. It was a rough wound right there.
It's still fresh.
Yeah. Jack got his they eat vegetables. They don't really do much. You are very agreeable too.
I know.
It's a mustache, I think.
I thought it was a smile, but thanks. I don't always talk to people from state, but when I do, I ask for large fries with that shake.
This is Chuck in the Muck.
It's Chuck in the Muck.
A new copy of the Volant hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a paper to read about illegal Adderall use at USD and a preview of the Summit League tournament.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Have a great night. We'll see you after spring break.